Welcome back to Hey Kentucky. Today I got to talk with Jay Lucas, the new man helping Kentucky basketball with recruiting, for an interview that will air on this weekend's edition of BBN Game Day. Here are some highlights. So Jay, welcome to Lexington. This has been a long time coming, like more than 10 years in the works.
Yes, it has. Yes, it has. I had to make it here one way or another.
Yeah, I definitely remember being reporting on you so many years ago, wondering if you were going to come to Kentucky or not. You eventually ended up at Florida and then at Texas. Walk me through how you ended up here this time.
This is opportunity that came about, and it was one that it's just hard to turn down. I kind of know one of the other coaches on staff, Joel. We were getting to know each other, being out on the road recruiting and stuff, and we were just having a normal conversation. And on the end of it, he kind of asked me about, what my interest would be in something like this, and I told him, it's Kentucky. I at least have some interest in it. And then, I got to talk to Coach Cal and stuff. And then from there, after talking to him and understand what he was trying to do and the opportunity for, at least for myself and what I wanted to do, it was a no-brainer for me.
So you were an on-the-court role at Texas as an assistant coach. You're kind of taking a step off the court more here. How do you see your role at Kentucky here?
The same, really. I know I'm not on the court and not able to coach and go out and go recruiting, but the foundation of coaching is all the same. It's here to build great relationships with the players and help them as much as possible. And I think that's one thing I'm really good at. One thing I take pride in is being able to help players get to where they want to and kind of understanding their experience and what they're going to by playing in college and playing at a high level. So that was a big part of it, is just being able to still do that and then still have a part in the recruiting. And whenever you go somewhere new, it's always going to be an adjustment period and time to learn, how everything operates there and how they like to operate. So I didn't really see it, as a step back or anything. I just saw it as the next step that I needed to take in my career.
You went through the whole process yourself as a McDonald's All-American, going through the recruiting process. How much does that help you when you're talking to guys who are making, life-altering decisions?
Right. I think it helps a lot because, the one thing about kids is you can't fool the kids. They know when you're authentic and they know when you're fake. And, when I can tell them about stuff they're going through without them telling me, they understand, okay, well, he understands what it's like and the pressure and emotions I'm feeling, and just going through the decision process of, where to go to school, why should I pick this school, what is special about Kentucky than these other schools, So I think that's one of the things that I can kind of help. And still being younger, still being, in my early 30s is something that, I'm able to relate to them because I'm able to kind of somewhat still speak their lingo and their language. So that's one of the things that I think helps me a lot.
How much has the process changed since you went through it, the recruiting process?
I would say the biggest difference recently has been the social media exposure. That adds a different layer to the recruits and their understanding of their, I guess best way to put it is their worth and their exposure. So a lot of that's been the biggest change, at least to the recruiting part in my aspect. And then I think here in the next two years, there's going to be another swing of stuff coming down with rules and things like that. So, I think you just have to stay ahead of the game and you have to be able to adapt. And I think that's one things that Coach Cal has always been good at.
So I want to take you back, and what would have made a difference so many years ago to have you have actually come to play for Kentucky?
The only difference would have been if Tubby Smith stayed. If Coach Smith was still here, I was coming. And that was always my plan. And that kind of, when he decided to go to Minnesota, I think it was like March or April or something like that, it kind of left me in scramble mode of having to find another school. And that's how I kind of ended up with Florida. They had, coming off winning a national championship, Billy Donovan being a great coach. And they were not in my top 5 or anything before then. So, it kind of left me, because I had made my mind up that I was coming here. It kind of left me scrambling to find a new school.
Because you were pretty tight with Patrick Patterson, weren't you, at the time?
I was, yep. Yes, I was.
Do you still keep in touch?
Wanted to play together. We keep in touch every now and then, not as close as we did back then, because, just life happens and stuff changes. But we stay in contact through social media, through text every now and then. And he reached out to me 2 days ago when everything was announced and told me, you finally made it and stuff like that. So it was good to talk to him.
You can see more of my one-on-one conversation with Jay on BBN Game Day. That airs this Saturday at 8:30 a.m. right here on LEX 18. Still ahead on Hey Kentucky, Kanye West's presidential campaign makes one final push. We'll talk about that and other topics when we return.